Meteorologist Daniel Kaiser here with your Metro News TV forecast here on this Friday, brought to you by Half Off Fridays. Save big from local businesses across the state. Click the Half Off Fridays button at wvmetronews.com. As we take a look at your headlines, we are watching a cold front moving on in later today, bringing the chance of a few showers along with it, especially across northern West Virginia. We'll see quiet weather this weekend before rain chances start to return next week. We could even see a few record highs across the region by next Tuesday and Wednesday. But putting your forecast in motion, we do see that cold front moving on in, bringing that shower potential as we head towards the evening hours, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. The heaviest rain is going to be across portions of northern West Virginia, where we could see a few totals in spots of around a quarter to a third of an inch of rain. Now in your Fly CRW forecast, Fly CRW, it starts at home. We are watching the chance for a few rain showers in Chicago and Orlando today, but areas like Tampa, Charlotte, DC, and Atlanta will see nice weather, not only today, but into the weekend, nice and dry weather. As we take you panhandle to panhandle, again, portions of northern West Virginia, including Wheeling, could see up to a third of an inch of rain as that cold front moves on through later today. Highs will top off in the 70s, maybe touching 80 in some locations. Rainfall totals will fall off the further east you go, with highs once again in the 70s to low 80s. Sunshine during the afternoon hours before that rain moves on in this evening. And rainfall totals will also taper the further south you go as we go throughout the evening hours, with highs once again 70s touching 80 in spots, and across southern West Virginia just under a tenth of an inch of rain expected in Charleston with a high of 80 later today. Now we do see quiet weather this weekend, warmer on Sunday, 86, before more rain chances return next week.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is MetroNews Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and MetroNews' Dave Allen.
It is the final hour of this Metro News Midday for this week. 2:06, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers. Today, Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Right now, it's time for some sports with the Weekend Sports Blitz. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
Welcome into a Friday edition of Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. As we do every Friday, we like to get a member of the Metro News sports team in here to talk about what's going on in your weekend sports. To do that, our good friend Daniel Woods. How you doing, my friend?
I'm well. How are you?
I am doing fine. And we have a special guest with us today, Jay Silverman from Have Fun West Virginia. Have Fun WV is here right now. Now, they've got a documentary going on tomorrow night at the Alban Arts Center in St. Albans. It's part of their West Virginia hot dog tour that they did. And so I'm going to give him a little bit of time to talk about that as well. I also understand he's coming up on Hotline with Weekly and Coop and the team coming up a little bit later on. So Daniel, meet Jay. Jay, meet Daniel.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Is this a serious show? I brought my glasses. I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
Jay, how long have you known me?
Wow, that's a great question. I'd say probably easily 8, 9, 10 years.
I'll tell you it's 10 years.
Has it been 10 years?
When have you ever known me to take anything totally seriously?
Never.
Daniel, you've known me for a few months.
I've known you for about 8 months. I've never known you to take anything seriously in that time. So.
All right, there you go.
Well, you got that official title. It's all Metro News. Hey. It seems serious.
It's all smoke and mirrors, man. Under the table.
Fake it till you make it.
Under the table.
I love it.
I'm not wearing pants. All right, so Daniel Woods is with us right now, Weekend Sports Blitz, and Jay's going to kind of chime in a little bit, and we're going to talk about hot dogs. First of all, you're a West Virginia guy.
I am.
So West Virginia hot dog for you?
Yes, very much so.
And what goes on it?
Well, it depends on where you are.
No, if you're ordering any, what goes on it?
My personal order or my opinion of what a West Virginia hot dog is?
Okay, your personal order.
My personal order, I'm chili, mustard, onions.
Okay, but no slaw.
I understand the appeal of slaw. I will occasionally go slaw.
What?
But I will. I'm from Morgantown.
Oh,
so
it's that line.
I'm above the line. I will go slaw occasionally. But if you sit me down in any hot dog joint in West Virginia and say, what do you want? I will order chili mustard onions.
Okay. Well, that's all right. I mean, it wasn't something totally off the. I
Right.
told Jay yesterday on the show, my wife is originally from Chicago. Chicago dogs are a totally different animal, but I found that I like them. I mean, they've got peppers on them.
Right.
It's a certain kind of roll. There's a pickle spear on it.
The celery salt for some reason.
It's different.
Little tomato.
It's the only
Tomatoes.
thing you use celery salt for, I
Yeah,
think.
that's true.
That is true. Yes.
When have you ever seen a recipe that has celery salt in it other than a Chicago dog?
That's a good point.
Celery soup.
Or as
He's
you
got a point.
as you young kids would say, fair. All right. Daniel is with us right now to talk weekend sports. Where would you like to start? Masters. How about we start
Yes. So day 2's underway at the Masters. We've already had some pretty big movement today. Rory McIlroy teed off it's been about 25 minutes now and was at the top of the leaderboard. Is still at the top of the leaderboard, 5 under. But the big story today, Tyrrell Hatton is 7 under today. Shot 2 over yesterday, is 7 under, and through 16 holes is now tied for first. So Rory is still in pretty good position, has just started his round. Tyrrell Hatton has come surging up the boards, and then Scotty Scheffler is even on the day through 12. That's the world number 1. But with some of the movement around him, has now dropped from tied for 6th coming into today to tied for 11th. So some movement from some of the big names right now, and I figure we'll start to see some separation by the end of the day.
See, I'm a Bryson DeChambeau guy, and
Not a great start.
not a great start.
Not what you're looking for.
Not yesterday and not today, from what I understand. So, Jay, how quickly do you follow the Master? I mean, how closely, I should say, do you follow
Go
the Master?
Rory. Yeah, absolutely. Good guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So not very much. I love to play it. I love to sit there with an 18-pack in the golf cart and hit a few balls, and that's the kind of golf I do.
And then eventually he gets out of the parking lot and goes out toward the greens.
and then I go find a hot dog afterwards. That's usually what happens.
Or 2 or 3.
That's right.
So
But I do like to watch the final day. That's always fun.
We talked about that. I've talked about that previously. It's just one of those things that there's those sporting events, Super Bowl,
It's a tradition unlike any other.
Final Four. There's those Daytona 500 that even if people aren't necessarily fans of the sport, they watch it and I think it has to do with the timing of it too, because it's spring, getting into
Exactly.
summer when that happens. Plus, I've never been there, obviously, but it's one of the most beautiful things to just watch on television. I mean, I went home last night, was just watching on the Golf Channel the highlights of it last night. I mean, just
it doesn't look real. And the course does not look real, and just the way that they treat it and the way that they take care of it, and the very strict guidelines that go into place for that course every year. It's incredible. I was actually talking to somebody that has been there the other night, and not even there for the actual tournament, has just been to Augusta National Golf Club and just said it's like a completely different world. And that really does come through on TV.
We had Brian Dayton on for the Chamber of Commerce yesterday, and he's actually been there. I think it was 2 years ago during the Masters. And he said everything that you see on TV, multiply it times 50. As far as all the things you've heard about the pricing and the the hysteria over the gnomes and things of that nature. It's just all part of it, and the hardcoreness when it comes to the cell phones and things of that nature.
You give me $1.50 pimento cheese sandwiches, I'll never leave.
Absolutely, absolutely, or several of them.
I was going to say several.
Several of them at that price. All right, what else are we watching in sports?
Marshall Spring Games tomorrow. No, we want to get into that. A lot back for Tony Gibson. They've made a few changes. They made some coaching staff changes. But first look for the Marshall football teams tomorrow, 3 o'clock. They're promoting. They're going to have some alumni in attendance to address the crowd, too, so that always gets a nice pop. And it's a fan day as well, so fans are going to be able to come down on the field afterward, get some autographs, that kind of thing. But it is not going to be a traditional scrimmage. It's going to be you've got an offensive team and a defensive team, and the defense is going to get points for being able to do certain things, and then the offense is going to get points for scoring.
I'm going to say the Thundering Herd's going to win that one.
That's a good bet. That's a good bet.
Jeff and I were talking about that during the 12 o'clock news segment, and these spring games, no matter whether it's Marshall or anywhere else, just aren't what they used to be because there's a variety of reasons. You don't want to show too much,
right.
Yep.
And obviously don't want to get anybody hurt. But college football, it used to be if you're a hardcore fan, WVU, Marshall, whatever, and you went to these spring events, you went in because you wanted to say, all right, now so how much has this guy improved? Well, chances are that guy wasn't there last year,
right?
And so when you're going to these spring events right now, you're trying to figure out, okay, who's who's this guy? Who's the wide receiver? Who's the quarterback? Who's the linebacker? Because you just don't know anymore.
You get that portal. You just never know. It's true.
Yeah. And some places are doing away with them entirely. WVU a week from tomorrow, they're doing what they call the Golden Blue Spring Festival. So we really don't know what that's going to look like. There's going to be a concert with Jake Owen, who's a country singer.
Big time country singer.
There's going to be some kind of football inside Milan Pushkar Stadium, but they haven't told us what yet. I don't know if we're going to find out from Rich Rod next week when he meets with the media or not, but it's taking on a totally different look.
Footballs will be present.
Yeah,
yes, that's right. Yeah.
We do know that much. Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little baseball for a moment.
Let's do it.
West Virginia and Marshall, they played in Huntington a while back, and the Mountaineers got that victory. Earlier this week, it wasn't even close. The Mountaineers up in Morgantown got the win. They play again at Go-Mart Ballpark May the 5th. Is there a chance that Marshall gets a win and at some point?
They won the last one at Go-Mart Ballpark.
Yeah, it's true.
So, I mean, it's entirely possible. It's baseball. There are bounces, and that's a talented Marshall team. I think it's just a depth thing that WVU has had the leg up on them so far this year. And WVU's done a very good job getting to Marshall's starting pitching, including this week against Kenyon Collins, who's a weekend guy for Marshall. They wanted to get some extra work for. They got to him, got him out in the first inning. If Marshall gets a strong start on the mound, then absolutely they can beat WVU. I mean, we'll see where we are in a month's time. Marshall's a couple of games below 500, but they've shown they can play with just about anybody in their conference. So I think it'll be exciting coming down the stretch for both of those teams to meet, because when you spread them out like that, they kind of become benchmarks because you can see how each one has improved since the last meeting.
My Cincinnati Reds reeled off 4 in a row, and then they struggled a little bit since then.
Yeah, drop back-to-back against Miami. They go to Los Angeles to play the Angels starting tonight. So I think a decent spot for the Reds, I think, to start the year, right?
Yeah.
Sal Stewart has been awesome. He hit his 4th home run yesterday, even in the loss. They've gotten good pitching even without Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo. Rhett Lauder didn't have his best start yesterday, but he's been really strong. You've gotten good starts from Chase Burns so far, which is exactly what you want from a guy you drafted that high and moved through the minors so quickly. So, yeah, I think you got to be happy with where the Reds are right now. Same goes for the Pirates, who, of course, I follow really closely. Both teams, I think, cautious optimism through a couple of weeks.
All right, Jay. Now, you're a Giants fan, right?
I am.
Okay, he's a California guy. How are your Giants doing so far?
Well, I wasn't a very big fan of the 0-3 start against the Yankees, but I mean, it's the Giants. We'll see what happens. It's a really tough division because you have, you got the Padres, who are okay. You got the what's the other team? The Blue. It's some team won last year.
Yeah,
it's those guys in L.A. or
those
something.
guys with the deep checkbook.
Yeah,
those guys.
Yeah. Jay
they keep winning too.
Jay also works with the Dirty Birds, Charleston's baseball team. When do they start?
Well, it's interesting. We have a pregame season game, I guess you could say. It would be on April 17th at 10:35. It's more like a little scrimmage game we're going to have, basically with ourselves, and we'll have a lot of kids there for a kids' day. And then we have a home run derby. The Go-Mart Home Run Derby will be on Saturday, April 18th, starting at 5 o'clock. And we'll have a skills challenge in there along with the home run derby itself. So that'll be a lot of fun. But the actual game, opening day, will be Tuesday, April 21st. So
right.
Real excited for that. Very excited.
When did you join us down here in Charleston, Daniel?
August.
Okay, so you were getting in on like the tail end
Got
of
the tail end. I didn't get to a game.
Okay, well, you
didn't miss much.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. It was
you will
okay
this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I plan to be in attendance quite a bit.
All
Nice.
right. Well, I got because our listeners keep us updated with what's going on. I'm not going to verify. I haven't verified this, but because I recognize the number, this is pretty accurate information normally. Breaking news, says a texter, saddened by the passing of Brownie Nagel, former Fiesta Bowl MVP, quarterback in Louisville, great, played at WVU in 1986.
Started his career at WVU.
Yeah, all right, we'll try to get more on that coming up a little bit later on.
Yeah, TV stations out of Louisville are reporting that. I've got WDRB right in front of me. He's 57.
Okay, wow. I remember him well. He was a great player. All right, so what else are we looking at in the world of sports? Talk a little, any particular area you want to go? Because I want to talk a little NASCAR. But.
Well, we do have a little more Marshall news that came this afternoon.
Yeah.
Just won the WNIT, just set the single-season wins record, and just extended Julie Folks through 2031. So big contract extension for your women's basketball coach at Marshall has come in. Has had a lot of success early. Kim Caldwell came in, was there 1 year, got the Tennessee job, and then you turn around and say, how are we going to follow this? You go out and get a Division III national champion in Julie Folks. You've got an extra trophy in the case now. And, I mean, you lose a lot from that senior class, but with the way that she put this team together, with the way they finished the year, there's momentum there. Seems to me like you're really probably not far off from thinking you could be in the NCAA tournament. There's a decent chance you were going to be in the NCAA tournament this year.
Real close,
if you were able to play a little bit better in the conference tournament. So I think that's a great move for Marshall.
Yeah, because there were a lot of people wringing their hands in Huntington saying, we're going to lose her too.
Right. So she's under contract through 2031. One of those deals where if it's another situation like Kim Caldwell where X program comes calling, she probably is going to move on at some point, but you set yourself up better financially with that longer-term extension, that you're going to get a bigger buyout. You're going to be in a better position when that happens. But, for the sake of Marshall women's basketball, we're sitting here hoping, Julie Folks makes a career in Huntington and is winning Sun Belt Conference championships and going to the NCAA tournament.
NASCAR this weekend rolls into Bristol. Jay, you've actually been to the races in Bristol.
Love Bristol. It's a good place. Yeah, we were 2020. We were fortunate enough when remember we had COVID and everything was locked down and no one was going to sporting events. NASCAR decided we're going to have the All-Star race right there at Bristol, and it was the very first sporting event that fans were allowed to come back to. And so when we went, it was like me and a buddy were together, but then it would be like 4 seats separating us in all directions. So it was great because you're at Bristol in this great race, and just the electricity, even with just the few fans that were there, it was amazing, a great place. If you've never seen a race or a NASCAR race, that would be the one place you should go to. It's like the last Coliseum, the last great Coliseum.
That's what they say, the last great Coliseum.
It's amazing. It's a great place for a race. It was a great event, and I will never forget it.
All right, I want to talk before we wrap up. I want you stick around for this one, Daniel. I want to give Jay a little time to talk about this hot dog movie, this documentary.
That's right. The special glasses. Here we go.
Go back though and tell the people what you did with this hot dog tour. I know you're going to be on Hotline later today,
sure.
but tell it again. Listen to these stats here.
Yeah, so
Daniel.
we started back in 2020 when everything was closed down, right? Just like we were talking about before, and the folks, mom and pops, were still serving hot dogs out of their back door, even though you weren't allowed to go to restaurants. So we thought, well, let's just drive around and see what everyone's been serving. So we decided to try West Virginia-style hot dogs. We went to all these places and shot videos of each place, and we ranked them accordingly, like according to how well the chili was, or the slaw, and the presentation, and how clean the store was. You even got extra bonus points if you had hand sanitizer, because, of course, it was during COVID. So we wanted to make sure that
It was a topping on hot dogs at that time.
It could have been. You never know. So, so we went around the entire state, and we didn't realize the entire state was going to be so consuming. It took us 2.5 years. We tried 284 hot dogs. So we sometimes during days we'd have sometimes 10 hot dogs a day, depending on what region we were at. Because, we were all from the
that's
Charleston
just
area.
Tuesday for me.
There you go. So, yeah, we went around and tried them all. And so this movie right here, The Tale of a West Virginia Hot Dog, we have a 90-minute premiere of about what the behind the scenes was about the entire drive. We had judges that came with us. We had guest judges that came with us who knew their region and could help guide us to specific areas and stuff like that. And Dave wasn't available.
I was going to say
for the Logan area. Yeah,
I haven't heard first I've heard of that.
Yeah. So,
but here's the thing: when this thing came out, tell people the social media engagement that you got. Check this out.
So
Daniel.
when this was over, we came out with a top 50 because we thought top 50 would be enough to tell people, right?
Sure.
We had 2 million people comment in in a 48-hour window.
2 million.
2 million. And shares and everything else, like where's my favorite place?
I was going to say 1.99 million told you were wrong.
Almost, yes. So we came out with the top 100 list so people can see where their favorite places were. Because if you weren't in the top 100, you just aren't that very good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there were places that were of nostalgia, big famous names, King Tut, the Morrisons and Stewart's, they were ranked kind of low because, sometimes when you get a soggy bun and a boiled dog, and you stick that wet. Kids don't know. Kids are sometimes putting these together. So you get right out of the boiled water, put it right into a steam bun. Now that hot dog is all wet and nasty.
Sure.
Before you even stick the chili sauce on there, it's like, okay. and then you roll it up in, cellophane and give it to you, or wax paper, whatever they're using, and then you get it, and it's just a sloppy mess. And people really enjoy those kind of dogs.
Yeah.
But that's not what we were looking for.
All right, and Bogey's Driving Range, who we
Yep.
featured on the lunch spot out of
Yes.
Tornado,
Yes.
took the first prize. We've only got about 30 seconds. What made Bogey so good?
Smoked. It was smoked. They took patience in making their slaw, because we use slaw on the top of our hot dogs, in case you're paying attention. Anyway, even the governor said so. But anyway, it's all about how they do it. And then they smoke their chili, smoke their dog, and it's great. It's just
And they're going to be
fantastic dog.
on site when you premiere this movie tomorrow
Yes.
night in Auburn, at the Auburn Arts
the
Center
Auburn
in St.
Theater,
Albans.
yes.
Where can people learn more about Have Fun West Virginia?
That's
Tim?
right. Go to havefunwv.com or check out the Instagram or the TikTok or the YouTube at havefunwv. There's a lot there.
All right. Daniel Woods, appreciate you as always, my friend.
Thank
Thanks a lot. And Jay, you're going to stick around, I think, to be on Hotline a little bit later.
I think so.
on.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right. We are going to take a break. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
A degree from Marshall University isn't simply a career path. It's a trust, an opportunity to inhabit the moments that change lives, to make connections that make a difference. With the opportunities of a larger school and the intimate nature usually reserved for one much smaller, you'll find your people, your passion, and yourself at Marshall, all while experiencing the moments that will shape the rest of your life. In person, online, or a mixture of both, join us today. Your moment awaits at Marshall University.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Foundation.
Welcome back to the show, 229. It is amazing how, territorial, provincial that people can get when it comes to their foods. And I said, Jay and I have been friends for a number of years when he told me he was doing this. And I remember going back to 2020 when he started talking about this on social media. He just got, ripped apart by people saying, well, what about fill in name here, my place or whatever. But people, especially when it comes to hot dogs, I think it's an Appalachian thing. It's a Southern thing. I don't know. We love our hot dogs, and we get defensive when you don't like our particular kind of hot dogs. We'll take a break. Open Line West Virginia coming up. Stay with us. And now we'll go to the Metro News anchor desk for a check of local news. You're listening to
with Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Meteorologist Daniel Kaiser here with your Metro News TV forecast here on this Friday, brought to you by Half Off Fridays. Save big from local businesses across the state. Click the Half Off Fridays button at wvmetronews.com. As we take a look at your headlines, we are watching a cold front moving on in later today, bringing the chance of a few showers along with it, especially across northern West Virginia. We'll see quiet weather this weekend before rain chances start to return next week. We could even see a few record highs across the region by next Tuesday and Wednesday. But putting your forecast in motion, we do see that cold front moving on in, bringing that shower potential as we head towards the evening hours, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. The heaviest rain is going to be across portions of northern West Virginia, where we could see a few totals in spots of around 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch of rain. Now in your Fly CRW forecast, Fly CRW, it starts at home. We are watching the chance for a few rain showers in Chicago and Orlando today, but areas like Tampa, Charlotte, DC, and Atlanta will see nice weather, not only today, but into the weekend, nice and dry weather. As we take you panhandle to panhandle, again, portions of northern West Virginia, including Wheeling, could see up to 1/3 of an inch of rain as that cold front moves on through later today. Highs will top off in the 70s, maybe touching 80 in some locations. Rainfall totals will fall off the further east you go, with highs once again in the 70s to low 80s. Sunshine during the afternoon hours before that rain moves on in this evening. And rainfall totals will also taper the further south you go as we go throughout the evening hours, with highs once again 70s touching 80 in spots, and across southern West Virginia just under 1/10 of an inch of rain expected in Charleston with a high of 80 later today. Now we do see quiet weather this weekend, warmer on Sunday, 86, before more rain chances return next week.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment, or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kurzweil. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline on Metro News Television.
Virginia.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 o'clock. It's Metro News Midday. Have a child or who's a junior in high school or know someone that does. Opportunity to win that child a full ride scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan. Room, board, tuition, and fees included. 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. Deadline is May 3rd. Details available at WVMetroNews.com. That's where you go to apply, WVMetroNews.com, and hit the Apply Now button. Deadline to enter is May 3rd. Open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. I did find one thing interesting a couple days ago. I'm reading an article in the Wall Street Journal. And you know how they say everything that is old is new again? They did this big piece, and I don't know. I thought it was really interesting thing to throw out here on a Friday. Anybody, I mean, some of you listening, probably the majority of you listening know when I say the word landline, all right, what I'm talking about. Well, there's a growing trend amongst families because they're trying to get their kids off of electronics, that they're installing landlines. And there may be somebody listening, probably with your mom or dad or grandparents right now, thinking, what is a landline? Well, back in the day, there used to be these things called landlines, and every house had one. If you were lucky, you had more than one, all right? And it was the only phone in the entire house. Everybody didn't have their own number. In some cases, there was no such thing as call waiting. There was no caller ID. The phone rang in the house. You answered it. And heaven forbid you didn't know who was on the other end when you answered it. You just picked it up. And chances are, many of your houses, that phone may have been centrally located in like the kitchen, hanging on a wall with a cord that would stretch, for about 15 miles down the road. And then cordless phones came around, and then you had to try to find the cordless phone. And then, it kind of went off there. But anyway, this article says that there was a parent in Asheville, North Carolina, who just had enough. And so she contacted the phone company, and she had people, had the phone company come out and install a landline. And so they actually had to teach their kids how to use them. And we had a text here about rotary dial. It was a rotary phone. It was a rotary phone. And so, and I know you've all seen these videos. There are several of them on YouTube where they take a kid of today or a younger person of today and they give them something like a rotary phone, or they give them, a cassette or something like that and tell them, okay, make this thing work. Now, to be fair, you could do that with any generation, and the kid could turn it around on you and say, okay, you do this, something that's modern day. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting that there's a uptick in landlines right now. I will say that my wife and I had a landline until we bought the house that we live in now. And the reason that we had one in our former house when we moved to that house was we were going to totally do away with our landline whatsoever. And it just so happened with our television provider at the time, they were offering a landline for like $6 a month. They were throwing it in. And I thought, you know what? They have the ability to turn your phone off, like your work phone, cell phone, which is kind of both. It was worth it for $6 a month. Yeah, it was worth it. But then we moved to the current house. That was an offer, so we just went with the cell phones. But I don't know. The things that occupy my mind. Text says, TJ hit the nail on the head with the major reason electric bills are so high. Strip auxiliary emergency heats cost 3 times as much as running just a heat pump, says a texter. Text says, so Melania, for no reason, calls a press conference to announce she is not associated with Epstein. I'm calling BS, says a texter. Text says, happy Cupcake Poet Day. Cupcake Poet, hide my emotions with icing and color devotion. Cupcake Poet, protect my world in a paper cup, make everything look right end up. Cupcake Poet, deep unseen troubles, buried deep where you can't find it double. cupcake poet, rises sweet and light, fought through the heat, baked in my life, says the texture. All right. We'll get back to Open Line West Virginia here in just a couple of moments. I want to bring in a real quick meteorologist, Bryan Hughes, because I had a couple things I wanted to ask you about. You were a little busy.
Yeah.
Thanks for. Well, no, you got stuff.
Well, I was on the phone with the Kanawha Valley Tourism Board folks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They got lots of stuff coming up.
Well, good, and we'll all be a part of it.
Yes,
I'm sure.
absolutely.
Whether we want to be or not, you're going to make sure we're all a part of it.
Yes.
A couple things real quick. I wanted to ask about weekend weather across West Virginia. Let's get to that first.
It's going to be amazing. We are going to have a few sprinkles and showers left over in the early morning on Saturday. But those are going to clear out and make for a nice afternoon across the state, anywhere from more sun back to the west and north, more clouds in the high terrain, but the sun starts to slowly take over across the state. Temperatures in the mid-70s to low 60s in the high terrain, and mid-70s in the lower elevations, and central in north-central West Virginia, and then low 70s northern panhandle. But then as we go into Sunday, it's 70s and 80s across the board, with the peaks of the mountains checking in the 60s. This is going to be a really nice weekend.
Okay.
Really nice weekend. We do have, and like I mentioned, a couple of those early morning showers on late night tonight into early Saturday morning. Probably a couple of thunderstorm chances Monday into Tuesday, but nothing too fancy next week. But this is going to be a real nice weekend.
Really nice weekend. And I know that across the state of West Virginia, there's so many activities going on. I know here in Charleston, we've got the University of Charleston Marathon for the first time in 30 years.
Right.
They're having this big marathon through the streets of Charleston. That's going on. They have a smaller one tomorrow on campus, and that's just one of the events going on. There's events going on all across the state of West Virginia, so get out there and enjoy it.
And that marathon comes right by my sternwheel boat.
All right, speaking of boats, nice segue there. All right, so Jeff talked about this a little bit earlier to lead us off, and it was in Sistersville about this ferry. Talk about it.
So the Sistersville ferry, it's first of all, it's the only ferry that operates in the state of West Virginia, and it's a very storied ferry. And there was a long time ago, there were a lot of boats that were built around the Sistersville area, north and south of there, around there. But that ferry, it's had a couple of it's had a few troublesome years of late, but it serves as vital operations during the spring, summer, and fall months because of there's bridges are so far south, so far north of there that it's a little go between. The only other one that's anywhere near the region is down in Augusta, Kentucky.
Okay,
and I've been on that one as well. But over the winter, when the ice was up, river came up as well. The boat got beached. The actual boat did, and we believe there were a couple of punctures in the hull, most likely.
Okay.
They were trying to over the last couple of days. They were trying to pump water out, and then things got a little worse, and they couldn't keep up with the pumps and such. And next thing, it sunk. The mayor was working. A lot of folks have reached out to try and help. But the boat's going to have to be pulled out of the water. Coast Guard hopefully let that happen and offload the fuel, and then they can get it maybe at a shipyard up north, and say a shipyard, at least somebody who can get it out of the water on a dry dock and then repair it. But the Sistersville ferry probably going to be down for. It could be at least a month, maybe 2 months. It depends on what the schedule is at the yard and how much damage there is underneath. I believe the prop probably was damaged. I saw pictures of it back when it was quote unquote beached. But what we had on the Ohio, I've got to say this: we had some of the worst ice that we've had in probably at least a decade on the Ohio River. And it was significant. There were barges that were stuck.
Yeah.
Barges, towboats that were stuck in, back around the Parkersburg area, Marietta stuff, where they just couldn't move. They couldn't move the ice anymore. So and unless you had what we call, so there's a single screw that is one prop underneath the boat. There's twin screws and there's triple screws. A couple of those double and triples with some of the biggest boats could probably push through some of that. There were some of them that just couldn't. So, you had a lot of stuff that was stuck. And the Willow Island locks and dam, they shut down because everything was frozen. And so the ice was significant. And so when you beach the Sistersville ferry because of that, and it punctures the hull, that's a problem. I mean,
and any time that we have anything aquatic, we always call on meteorologist Bryan Hughes. Not only a meteorologist, but all things aquatic as well.
I know how to swim. I know how to come get out of the water when it's frozen and it's very, very cold.
But what do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
Well, I have mentioned that I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind. I forgot
and
about
onions.
That. Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kurzweil. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline on Metro News Television.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
11 away from 3. Open line, West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. Phone number, text 304-TALK 304. Texas Marjorie Taylor Greene got snubbed by Trump for a Senate seat support. She waited until her retirement was vested with the House of Reps. Then she quit. She could have opposed him from Congress, but she chose to quit the House and started a new grift, acting like a GOP voice of reason. It's a grift. The leopard doesn't change its spots. Texas way to shut down an entire city for people running a marathon. Leave it to the city of Charleston. Well, I can tell you that marathons go on in cities all across America. My wife and I, a few years ago, were in Louisville and got right smack dab in the middle of Louisville in the middle of a marathon, and it shut down the whole city. So it's not just Charleston. It goes on everywhere. Text says, as was said on Talkline this morning, nearly every problem we have in the state could be alleviated with one simple thing: people moving here. And until we clean up this state and get rid of the backward thinking at the Capitol, trust me, no one is moving here. Text says, how about Melania bringing the Epstein files back into the headlines? The Iran war is going so badly that the Trump administration is using the Epstein files to distract from the Iran war, which was originally a distraction from the Epstein files. We make our kids pledge allegiance to this mess every morning. We are clowns, says the texter. Text says, talking about country club food, how about a little love for the bread pudding at your country club in Logan? It is fantastic. The bread pudding of the Logan Country Club is fantastic. Text says, how come Christians support spending money on foreign wars of conquest and support spending money on space exploration, but vehemently oppose universal health care? What's up with that? Says, what's the idiots of the Republican Party in the state don't realize is that while they're bragging about people changing their registration to Republican, they aren't smart enough to know there's an orchestrated effort from people like me simply changing our party to vote Republican so we can vote against the incumbents. As soon as the election is over, we're going to switch back to independents or Democrat. Republicans really aren't that smart. Text says, Dave, I'm a Republican and a Christian, and I will go on record as saying, I no way endorse the killing of civilians, as President Trump talked about earlier this week. No real follower of Jesus would be okay with that. Text, beautiful weekend in West Virginia. Great time to wake up the Department of Highways to fix some potholes. Have a good weekend, Dave. You as well. Text says, where's all the MAGAs and their Trump flags? Are MAGAs fair-weather political supporters? Says a texter. Text says, celery salt is great in potato soup. It is. If people just join at any time in this show, they probably wonder, why are they talking about celery salt? Discussion last hour with Daniel and also with Jay Silverman of Have Fun West Virginia. We were talking about Chicago dogs and celery salt. Text says, I remember in college in 1985, I would have to call my phone to get my messages, says the texter. Text says, Dave, in 1984 in Mon County, I started out on a 2-party service, says the texter. Text, I just threw up in my mouth. Thank you for that, Bryan Hughes. All right, it's Bryan and his love of mayonnaise or Miracle Whip on hot dogs. Text says, sorry for the length of this one, but please read as much as you can. The war is brutal. We all know that, but President Trump's profane statement on Easter morning to Iran and then threatening to kill an entire civilization are just wrong. I voted for him 3 times, but I now question his mental ability to do the job. I believe the cabinet led by Vice President Vance should invoke the 25th Amendment and remove him from office immediately. To be fair, I wanted the same thing done with President Biden. Thanks, Dave. Text says, I challenge any hardcore Republican or Democrat to come on your show and talk about just their person and not to engage in whataboutism. I bet they can't. I bet, texter, you are exactly right. Text says, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, Grady and Waylon are living their best. It's my reference to my cats. Great golf being played. All is perfect in the world until Bryan Hughes shares with the world he puts Miracle Whip on his hot dog. I can't unsee it now. 2:53, we'll wrap it up after this.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the show. A couple of minutes away from 3 o'clock. Final text of the day. Hold on. Mayo is great on hot dogs. Sheetz even has an option to place it on in their system. And I say that because meteorologist Bryan Hughes just stuck his head in the studio. And as soon as you left, Weather Boy, man, people were just lighting up the text line here about your revelation about putting Miracle Whip on hot dogs.
What's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with it. Listen,
everything's wrong with it.
No, bologna is such a worse piece of meat, and you put Miracle Whip on that.
I never really thought about that until he said. That's a good point, Weekly.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it just kind of like changes the conversation. First of all, bologna doesn't need any shade. Okay, there was no need to bring bologna into this as a poor meat.
It's a crappy piece of meat.
The topic is what's wrong with mayo on
Give
a
me
hot
a
dog,
bell,
and my
Ryan.
answer
Ryan,
to
give me
that
a
is
bell.
everything.
Ding, ding, ding.
This is okay. This is like a Texas thing, right? This is some sort of like Texas thing.
No, I just liked Miracle Whip on a hot dog.
Are the TV guys?
It's not mayo. It's Miracle Whip.
Are the TV guys going to fight?
I hope not.
That'd be the
knockdown throw.
Worst looking fight ever between you two.
That's true.
Why are you in here?
Open
Did you have
hand
something to say?
slaps.
I was going to tell you about breaking news, but with the hot dog is more important, clearly.
Just have to wait then.
The holding company for the file for bankruptcy put Greenbrier into receivership.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Well, we'll have
We're
more
working on that story for WVMetroNews.com right now.
We'll have more on that coming up
And add
later
the
on.
Miracle Whip. I
Weekly.
guess.
Weekly. What are you doing on Hotline?
Well, we're talking about Artemis 2 is coming back to the Earth today.
Touchdown.
So what would be your skill set on a mission like that?
Nothing.
Having food delivered when we land. See you Monday. Till then, have fun and love somebody.